Come on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for a special video, y'all. I just wanted to pop in here and say Happy New Year to everyone. It's New Year's Eve, and I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year, a safe New Year. And that's really what I came to talk about. But then as I started reflecting on what do people typically do on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, a lot of people reflect upon the past year. Some people make New Year's resolutions. Here in my family, we have a tradition where we do sort of the burning bowl, where you write down on a piece of paper all the things you want to leave behind in 2025, and then you throw them into a fire pit and be gone with them and say you're not going to carry these things into 2026. So I said, you know what? Why don't I extend this, what we're getting ready to do here at my house, to a video? And I saw this video with Claudia Jordan, and she was talking about in the video, I don't know if some of you seen it, where she's saying all the good men are taken, no good men to marry anymore, and she's tired. She's ready for someone to take over these bills. She got 2 cars, she got a mortgage, she got a lot of bills. She needs someone to come in. She says she wants the Donald Trump Melania plan. She says she regrets how she lived her younger years, whereby she kept believing that, time wasn't of the essence, that men were plentiful, that she didn't need to settle down because there would always be a man around that she could pick up anytime she wanted to. And now that she's here, I believe Claudia must be in her 40s, she's realizing that that might not have been a good strategy. And of course, all the men from the Kevin Samuels world are jumping all over her.
You think that when you're ready to settle down that there's always going to be a lot of supply on the shelves? And it's not. Like at this age, a lot of the good guys are married or taken because they're good guys. And I was having a conversation with a girlfriend of mine the other day, and I'm like, well, your best bet now is maybe someone that a good man that maybe is coming out of a marriage, getting a divorce. So,
Well, this is what I have to say. Of all the things I really do want to leave behind in 2025, I want to really ask a lot of women to do it, is leave behind delusional ideas that you have about marriage. It really is time to leave them behind, because these delusional ideas about marriage, what marriage is, what it looks like, what it's going to do for you, who this guy is going to be that you're going to be married to. There's a lot of fantasy wrapped up in a lot of women. And whether a woman wants to stay single and be happy, whether she wants to get married and be happy, either way, women need to leave behind delusion. So the first thing I want to say is this statement that Claudia made about all the good men are taken. They're taken or they're married. That's a lie. It's just not true, Claudia. And I don't even know why you're telling yourself these negative things. Another New Year's resolution: stop telling ourselves negative stories, right? We've got to challenge, we can't just speak out of emotion. I understand Claudia may be frustrated in the dating world. And so as a result of being frustrated, which is an emotion, she makes statements that are just false. And therefore, she tries to bring in as if it's a fact to justify her emotions. Well, first of all, let's really think about it. If all the good men are married, all the good ones are taken, how is the divorce rate so high? Ask yourself that question. If all the good men are the ones that are married, why are so many women, because women file for divorce at a much higher rate than men. I think 70% of divorces are filed by women. 50% of marriages are somewhere around there are collapsing. So if all these good men are married, why the heck would women be leaving good men? So that tells you right there, Claudia, that marriages are not filled with a lot of good men, as you call them, because we haven't even talked about what you call a good man. I'm just arguing on the base of statistics alone that what you're saying is untrue. The second thing I want to say has got to be untrue is even if we believe you, Claudia, and we say all the good men are married, when did they become good men? Did they become good men prior to being married, and what those women did was married good men? Or were those men work in progress? Were they men that weren't good men, men that had problems, issues, red flags, yellow flags, and women married them anyway, but along the way those two people grew together, they improved together, and now when you look at them, you say, "Oh, he's a good man, Savannah." Well, maybe he wasn't when they got married, right? So you're still assuming that women had snapped up all the good men. Well, maybe they didn't. Maybe they snapped up a bad man in your eyes, and now he's a good man. You see what I'm saying? And what about what other people say? That most of married women are women who settled. They settled, and so there are a lot of women who walk around saying the reason I'm not married is because I don't want to settle. So that would mean that if married women had to settle to get married, according to the streets, that would mean they didn't marry good men. Because would you describe marrying, settling as a good thing? No. What I'm getting to is that there's no logic behind any of these comments that Claudia is making. Instead of focusing on these statements that absolve you from being a different person, because when you blame whatever unhappiness you have, whatever status you have, whether you want to be single or married, I don't care. I'm not a person who believes you need to be married to be happy. In fact, I don't even think that everyone is suited for marriage, because marriage takes a particular type of personality, a particular type of style. And if you are not ready for that, you actually shouldn't get married, because you will be miserable, right? Marriage takes working with someone, adapting to someone, changing parts of yourself so that you actually blend better with someone. These are all requirements of marriage, and not everyone is willing and able to do it. You see, what Claudia talked about was when she was younger, she had her career, she had whatever else was going on in her life, and she had the option to get married or be with men. And what she decided in that moment was, you know what? I don't really need to change anything about myself in order to be with these men, because I've got a lot of options, and I've got a lot of options down the road. So what she decided was, hey, I'm not willing to make the sacrifices either in my career or the sacrifices in my personality. And when I say sacrificing your personality, that is changing parts of yourself that do not pair well with others. A lot of people don't want to change. They don't. And they spend a lot of time looking for a person to accept them as they are. They want the easy way. That's the easy way, that we all just enter the world, do whatever we want to do, say whatever we want to say, be whoever we want to be. That's great. Maybe that makes you feel free. Maybe that makes you feel alive. Maybe that makes you feel like you are living an authentic life. I don't think anything is wrong with that. But in order to be in a relationship, in order to pair with someone, right, it will require change. And if you're not ready for that, then you're not ready for marriage. So, a lot of ways I think when Claudia is describing her life, one is I think she has a lot of delusion around marriage. Even this idea that when she says, I'm ready for someone to come in, pay for my Range Rover, my 2 cars, my mortgage, my this, my that. I'm like, well, Claudia, that sounds like a pension. That sounds like a retirement plan. That doesn't sound like a person.
And I'm still single. I'm tired, Erica. You found your man. Don't hate. Let me live this. Let me vent. You're off the strip. I am still on it. I'm in the trenches, and it sucks. I'm sick of being independent. I hate paying for my Range Rover, my other car, my mortgage insurance, my freaking cell phone, computer, Wi-Fi. I am sick of it. I need some guy with bad health to jump on in and interrupt and say, let me take you off your shift. You've been working hard enough. So that's cute what she's doing. I'm not doing that. We are different. I'm tired. I've proven myself. And it only impresses other women. She's like, oh, that's amazing. My friends are independent. These men don't care. Come and save me. I'm tired, Erica. I don't want to do it no more. Where's my Melania? I want the Melania Trump plan. I'm sick. I've proven myself. Since 1988.
At 88.
I'm tired. I was 15 out of paper route.
Damn, that's a long time.
72 clients. 30-cent tip for some of you bastards in East Providence, Rhode Island on 2nd Street. I remember I gave you papers 7 days a week, and on Sunday you gave me a 30-cent tip. I'm tired. And I'm still single.
You see what I'm saying? So in a lot of ways, the same mistakes Claudia told herself when she was younger, when she says, I wish I hadn't told myself that I would have plenty of options. And now here I am, and I don't have a lot of options. I wish I hadn't told myself that lie. Now Claudia is here telling herself another lie, which is that all the good men are married. No, they're not. No, they're not. There are plenty of men out here, plenty of men. The question is, can you do enough changing or adapting of yourself so that you're able to pair with different types of men? That's the question. Instead of making it all be about what the man needs to be and what he needs to be different, why don't you think about what is it about yourself that you would need to change in order to pair with someone? But a lot of people come to the conclusion that I don't want to change anything about myself. And that's fine. But don't blame it and say it's about there are no good men out there. It's absolutely not true. I mean, like I said, I think a lot of people are just delusional about what marriage does and does not do for your life. You are still an individual in marriage. You still have to find a way to be an individual and be happy, but also be paired with someone and be joined with someone so that you also can live in unison. And a lot of people really just believe that marriage is about someone coming in your life and filling in all the voids you don't have. Like you take all these good parts of yourself and say, okay, I'm happy as a single person. I've got all these great things going on in my life, but I've got these other things over here that aren't so great, whatever they are. And so what I want to do is I want to get with a partner, and what he's going to do for me is those parts of my life that aren't good, he's going to come in and make all those parts of me better. And then as a result, I have the good part of me that I had anyway when I was single. Then the bad parts of me when I was single, a man came in and he made those parts of me good. So now my whole life is good. Delusion. That's not how it works. You know what the real reality of it is if you are a person out there and you have good parts of your life and you have bad parts, things that happen in your life that are sad, that bring you down. Marriage really is about, those good parts you have. It's about a person coming into your life and sharing those good parts with you. So now you're not sharing them by yourself. And then, those parts of your life where maybe sad moments happen to you or things, it's not about a person coming in and wiping all of that away so that they never happen. It's about a person being there to hold your hand doing those sad parts. That's why it's called Through Sickness and Health. Marriage doesn't promise you health the whole time. Marriage doesn't promise you joy the whole time. What marriage promises you is companionship. You see, but a lot of people like Claudia, they're looking at marriage as a way to come in and wipe out the things in their life that they're not happy with, that they're tired of doing. Take out the trash, pay my bills. As if this other person, this man coming in their life is simply there to cater to them, right? And so therefore, why would I need to do anything different? It's not only delusion, it's a form of selfishness, right? And in marriage, that's going to be very, 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 very difficult to sustain that. As you move into 2026, I want everybody to really look at what are the stories you tell yourself that's keeping you held back from being a better version of yourself in 2026. And Claudia might need to look at, why does she look at married men as being the good men, right? What is it about you when you say all good men are married? Maybe you're attracted to men who are in marriages in which there is a wife pouring into that man, and therefore he seems more attracted to you, right? Maybe you're attracted to the man because some other woman wants him. You see, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people, but that has nothing really to do with the men. It has to do with more your mentality. There's a thing out here whereby they'll tell you, if you are selling a house, you shouldn't sell a house with no furniture in it, empty, vacant, because people can't come in and imagine themselves in the house. This is why they stage homes. They don't want you to walk into a house and there's no furniture or nothing. They want a buyer to be able to come in and imagine themselves occupying that home. That's why they stage homes. Staged homes that are vacant, they sell for less, they take longer to sell. They're more risky to sell, right? And Claudia is kind of like that buyer, whereby when she sees a home that's vacant, that maybe the person is single, no one's in their life, she's not as attracted to it. Instead, what she wants to do is she wants to look at a married man who has a wife, look at that wife's life, and then say, I want that wife's life. You see, it's the same thing with a home that has furniture in it. You go in and you can't see how you could make a vacant house your home, how you could bring in some furniture, bring in your special touches. You need it to already been laid out and say, oh, I see what that woman has. That's what I want. I wish I could have her husband, right? That's a good guy. Well, maybe that woman moved into a vacant house. Maybe when she met that man, it was vacant and it didn't have any furniture in it. But she fixed it up. They worked together and fixed it up. She helped fix him up. He helped fix her up. And now that's all nice and got nice furniture and with pictures all over the wall. Now you got the Claudia Jordans of the world walking around saying all the good men are taken. Girl, that says more about you than it says about men. And this idea that there is a scarcity of men, where does that come from? There's millions of men in the world. Billions of men in the world. Are you telling me that you can't find one? One. We're not talking about polygamy and being in a relationship with multiple men. One. Or what have you done in the term of good men that you have somehow eliminated so many people from the category of good men that now there are none left? Have you eliminated them by their height, their size, the color of their skin? You know, it's interesting, especially in the Black community, that a lot of Black women are very, very loyal to only dating within the Black community. And I've often talked about that one of the ways that everyone needs to flourish in the dating world is to expand your options, right? Not only expand your mindset, being able to pair with different people. Why is it that educated Black women who have gone to primary white institutions, gone up in mixed neighborhoods, gone to HBCUs, worked in the corporate America, somehow or another, they're still telling themselves that the only people that they can pair with are Black men? Why are you telling yourself this? I think I spoke to someone before and they said, well, I would be so afraid that if I dated a man outside of my community, Black community, that man would tell me one day, call me the N-word. Really? Really? So let's talk logic here. That's your fear. That's what your fearful voice is telling you, that the reason you can't date outside of your community is because there's a possibility that that person who's not of the Black race will come to you one day and call you the N-word. So as a result, to protect yourself against that fear you're talking about, you've decided that you don't even want to think about dating someone outside of your race. Like I said, the negative stories we tell ourselves to keep us trapped. That a man is out there waiting for you, a white man, an Asian man, or whatever man is waiting to date you as a Black woman just so one day he can call you the N-word. And this is what's got you in a straitjacket. There's statistics out there actually talk about what's the truth. That when we talk about the divorce rate, you know what one of the lowest divorce rates is? It's Black women with white men. Go figure. Black women are always talking about Black men marrying white women, but Black men and white women have a very high divorce rate. Black men with Black women have a very high divorce rate. But one of the lowest divorce rates is actually Black women with white men. One thing is, why is that? Why is it that when two Black people get together, they end up having some of the highest divorce rates? Me, particularly, my own opinion of it is that I think that as Black people, we bring in a certain level of generational trauma from the past that we've carried for a long, long time, and it's passed down from generation to generation. And I think we bring that trauma into our marriages, into our relationships. And when you are paired with someone that doesn't maybe have that trauma, the relationship can maybe be a bit lighter in that category. Now you're not dealing with two traumatized people in a particular area. Maybe there's enough room for us to work through one person's trauma. Everybody's got trauma. White people got trauma too. But it may be that people of different ethnicities carry different traumas. And maybe it's that when two Black people get together, it's a lot in a relationship. I've seen it. I can believe it. I can really believe it. But what I do want to say is I do hope for 2026 people stop with a negative mindset. And I hope that people stop creating stories that keep them away from the life that they want. And if the life that they want is to be married, if the life that they want is to have children, to have a two-parent house, that they really examine the stories they're telling themselves of why they haven't been able to pair with someone, why they haven't been able to adapt to another person, you see, and what are the rules that you've created in your head that has basically eliminated so many people. I'm not talking about settling in this negative way. I'm talking about your inability to adjust and to adapt to people so that you can find a partner, you see. And if you're out here and you want to get married, you want to have children, what should be the most important thing you're looking for? You should be, if you want to have children with a man, you should be looking for a person who will be a good father. What difference does it make if he's light-skinned or dark-skinned, if he's tall or if he's short, or if he's got washboard abs or he's got 15 extra pounds? You're looking for a good father to your children. That should be number one criteria. Not only do I want to drop these marriage delusions, these negative stories we tell ourselves, because if you don't get rid of them, not only will you not reach whatever goal you have, like I said, your goal doesn't have to be married, but if you keep telling yourself negative stories, then it will interfere with your ability to reach your goal. And even if your goal comes in front of you, more than likely you will sabotage it because you still have the negative mindset. So whatever you guys have planned for this New Year's Eve, whatever you have planned for 2026, please let one of the things you do going into 2026 is get rid of the negative voices, the negative stories. Unleash yourself from bonds, phrases, paradigms, anything that you have been holding on to for 20, 25 years. These stories Claudia Jordan is telling us, these stories are now 20 years old. She's too old to be holding on to these stories. They're not serving her well. Maybe they were good for her when she was in her 20s, but they're not good for her now. Let them go. Stop repeating them. Stop spreading it around. And if any of you hear other women talk, stop listening to them. Okay? You are in control of your happiness. Don't believe that you are stuck and you have no power into finding happiness in your life. A lot of people have resigned themselves that they have to be stuck somewhere because someone else, a man, a Prince Charming, hasn't come along and saved them. Save yourself. Okay? You have the ability to do it. And the first step you need to do is get rid of that monkey on your back that's telling you that you have no say-so in your life, that it is what it is, and you just have to put up with it. Absolutely not. Get rid of it. Burn it. Burn it all before midnight. Write it down on a piece of paper. Strike a match and burn it. Burn it all. Alrighty, that's all I got to talk about on this New Year's. Y'all have a wonderful New Year's, and I'll see you guys on my next review of Ready Love, probably over the weekend. Talk to y'all later. Bye.